Nestled gracefully along Georgia's southern coastline, Jekyll Island emerges as a coastal jewel, steeped in history and endowed with natural grandeur. Its strategic position at the confluence of the intracoastal canals and the Atlantic Ocean has given it both historical importance and magnificent beauty. Jekyll Island's bedrock, which is composed of a complex mix of ancient sediments and geologic processes, acts as the backdrop for the events of its history. The mysteries of the island's origin, its distinctive environment, and the riches that eventually attracted its first group of human settlers are preserved in these geological underpinnings. Indigenous peoples constitute an important part of the history of Jekyll Island. Speaking of those first settlers, their history is entwined with the geography of the island, and their existence precedes the history of European immigrants by centuries. Indigenous people used the island's coastal ecosystem's resources for nourishment, shelter, and ceremonial reasons before colonial colonists discovered them. The history of the island still bears the traces of their legacy, like soft wind whispers. But the only way we can hear these ghosts of the past is via the art of archaeology. Numerous archaeological discoveries and pieces of evidence provide a window into the everyday routines and pursuits of Jekyll Island's first settlers. These relics discovered in the island's soil, which range from pottery shards and implements to ceremonial objects, give a clear picture of the activities and civilizations that coexisted here long before recorded history. They bring a 2,000-year-old tale to life, while illuminating the deep relationships between the island's geology, its native people, and its interesting ancient activities. Jekyll Island saw significant change throughout the colonial era as European discovery and influence forever altered this seaside sanctuary. Early explorations of the island by Europeans resulted in a flood of innovation and discovery. Each of the three colonial powers, Spanish, French, and English, played a part in determining the course of the island as they competed for dominance and influence in the area. Jekyll Island developed to become a critical turning point, a place of both economic and governmental importance. These European countries left their mark on the island's culture, flora, and wildlife, and even the terrain itself as they made their presence felt along Georgia's coast. Early colonization and fortification was a direct result of this colonial struggle. European immigrants fortified Jekyll Island as a stronghold of their authority in the New World by building forts and encampments there in their drive for control. These early outposts were used for a range of activities, including commerce, defense, and missions. The ruins of these colonial buildings still exist as visible reminders of the island's colonial history, frequently hidden by time and nature. They tell stories of bygone periods and the aspirations of colonial powers in this alluring region of the globe. A critical period in Jekyll Island's history, the plantation era, was greatly impacted by the economic forces driving the cotton and rice industries in the American South. This section of the island's history is integral to the story of the agricultural economy in the Deep South as a whole. Thanks to its rich soil and pleasant temperature, Jekyll Island has played a significant role in this economic environment. Two staples of southern agriculture, rice and cotton, flourished in the island's fields, greatly enhancing the local economy. Huge plantations that grew and expanded had a role in shaping the island's civilization and economy. However, slavery's institution was inexorably linked to the wealth of the plantation period. A persistent and very moving aspect of Jekyll Island's past is the influence of slavery on its history. Enslaved African Americans endured unspeakable suffering while making immeasurable contributions to the riches of the plantation owners while toiling in the island's fields and homes. Their hard work and tenacity are an essential part of the island's narrative, reminding us of the significant and long-lasting effects of this troubling time in American history. On Jekyll Island, prominent plantation owners left behind imprints that will never be erased. Their names live on in history, and the expansive estates they owned and the lavish lives they led throughout the plantation period are proof of the riches created by the production of rice and cotton. The Sauvignon family was one of these significant individuals who helped to shape the island's history and contribute to its rich cultural and architectural legacy. Although they are now seen through a lens that recognizes the intricate layers of history and their long-lasting influence on Jekyll Island's evolution, the legacies of these plantation owners are still recognized and remembered. A crucial era in the history of Jekyll Island was marked by the American Civil War, a turbulent time of struggle and division. Jekyll Island's strategic position along the Georgia coast contributed to its role in the Civil War. It became a well-known location for the stationing of soldiers and the defense of the surrounding coastal seas. The island's environment underwent a tremendous alteration as the South dealt with the effects of the war, mirroring the larger difficulties and sacrifices the country made. The island's importance during this turbulent time is further highlighted by the Civil War battles and other incidents that took place there. One such noteworthy occasion was the building of Fort Pulaski, a strategic stronghold that contributed to the blockade of Savannah on adjacent Cockspur Island. In addition, Jekyll Island saw Confederate attempts to hold its shoreline against Union troops, which resulted in skirmishes and battles that left their imprint on the island's history. Even though they were sometimes overshadowed by greater engagements on the mainland, these incidents were crucial to the island's participation in the Civil War, highlighting both its significance as a background to the wider fight and its position in American history. Jekyll Island had a turning point in its history after the Civil War as the island struggled to recover and adapt. For the people of the island and the larger South, the destruction left in the aftermath of the battle presented various difficulties. Like many other localities in the area, Jekyll Island had the difficult challenge of rebuilding its infrastructure, mending battle wounds, and adjusting to the significant socio-economic changes that occurred after hostilities ended. Resilience was evident throughout this time as islanders worked to take back and rebuild their lives among the echoes of the past. During the Reconstruction period, the island's economy and society underwent significant and complex transformations. A major effect of the Civil War was the abolition of slavery, which changed the nature of the labor market on Jekyll Island and allowed freed African Americans to rejoin the labor force. The island's emphasis on agriculture changed as a result of the shifting economic environment. In addition to social development, the political landscape of the island underwent political transformation as a result of new laws and regulations designed to protect the civil rights of the island's varied population. Jekyll Island underwent a spectacular metamorphosis during the Gilded Age, becoming a lavish winter getaway for the rich elite of the late 19th century. Rich visitors looking for relief and pleasure were drawn to the island's rich terrain and mild winter temperature, which provided an excellent retreat from the very cold northern winters. The island witnessed enormous transformations throughout this time, changing from an agricultural and industrial powerhouse to a haven of luxury and repose. Jekyll Island became a popular getaway for the wealthy due to its natural beauty and the attraction of exclusivity. The growth of the island was forever influenced by prominent Jekyll Island club members. Among the club's most renowned members were the Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, Morgan, and Pulitzer families. Their influence went well beyond the clubhouse, since they started large-scale initiatives that had an enduring effect on the island's infrastructure and environment. These club members transformed Jekyll Island into a location of incredible beauty, refinement, and leisure via the building of opulent winter houses, huge landscaping projects, and the addition of golf and tennis. Visitors are still enchanted and captured by the legacy of their efforts, which is still visible in the island's architectural marvels and cultural heritage. Jekyll Island entered a new period of transformation and adaptation in the 20th century as a result of its pivotal involvement in World War II. Jekyll Island, like many other coastal places, gained strategic military importance as the globe experienced the turbulent years of the war. The island was converted into a U.S. Army training site, where troops were trained in amphibious combat, a critical aspect of the struggle. A dramatic contrast to the island's former use as a winter resort for the rich elite, military training could be seen on its peaceful beaches. Jekyll Island has become a well-liked and prosperous tourist destination in modern times, welcoming travelers from all walks of life to discover its beautiful scenery and rich history. The abundance of activities and attractions the island provides serves as further evidence of its popularity as a tourist destination. Now, tourists may enjoy the area's beautiful beaches, stroll through maritime forests, and engage in outdoor activities like golf and water sports. The island has evolved from being exclusive in the past to being inclusive in the present, and the charm that once attracted the Gilded Age elite now welcomes families, nature lovers, and history fans. That's all for this video. We'll be back soon with another informative video. Don't forget to like and share this video. To keep exploring ancient history together, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time!